Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. Our goal is to fashion your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I'm Christy Maxfield.
And I'm the fashionable Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore.
Is that your fashion voice? You are the fashionable.
That's my fashion voice.
Okay. And do you wear fine fashions while doing inclusion for BioSTL?
Yeah, right. Okay. It's called athletic gear, right?
Athletic. Well, you know, you're in for the journey and the long haul, right?
I'm in.
So you've dressed appropriately for the call to action. I like that.
Absolutely. So, as you guys know or don't know, I lead our BioSTL inclusion initiative for the region. Hello there, my dear.
Hello, my fashionable friend. We're so glad that you're with us and thankful that our founding presenting sponsors, CET and BioSTL, have continued their support.
Yes.
We're rocking and rolling in what will be our third year of doing the podcast. I can't
imagine.
I know. And I did, and we're here, like it's our lives. So we better imagine.
When we did this day one, we were like, this sucks.
We keep showing up.
We're never doing this
We
again.
keep showing up.
Right.
I don't know what the problem is.
They haven't cut us off. So
Exactly.
That's good,
So
right?
we're really grateful that not only our founding presenting sponsors have allowed us to come back, but our listeners.
Yes.
We are really grateful for all of you who subscribes, and we hope that you'll share us with your friends so they can find us on their favorite podcast platform, whether that's iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, LinkedIn, our webpage, or wherever you find your favorite podcast.
Wherever you are, we want to be.
Indeed.
So take us with you.
Yes.
So, as you guys know, I do a little bit of intro here. So
Yes.
For women.
Set the stage, my friend.
Yes. So for women, challenges abound in many facets of everyday life and work. Ain't that the truth? Okay. Really?
We call them facets on a good day.
Right. Okay. Challenges. Anyway, Catalyst, a global nonprofit that helps organizations remove barriers and advance women into leadership, argues that progress for women is progress for everyone.
Oh, we know that to be
Yes. So when it comes to identity, style, and practicality, where beauty meets function is a victory. Yes. So when we come back, we're going to be speaking with a woman who produces, y'all get this, because I know all y'all women out here.
I think second to food, fashion would be one of our favorites. Right?
Yes. Handbags. She produces handbags for working women and that travel, right? She's a working mother as well and understands the challenges personally. Her goal is to help women triumph in their various ways while remaining stylish along the way. I already love her. Ronke Faleti joins us after the break. So stay listening.
BioSTL is a proud founding sponsor of this Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast, and we want you to know all about the great things they are up to. BioSTL Fundamentals is an entrepreneur development program targeted to founders wishing to start a company in the bioscience space, including therapeutic products, diagnostic products, medical devices, animal and crop agriculture products, and research tools. Participants earn resources by achieving specific coaching goals. You can learn more about BioSTL Fundamentals by visiting biostl.org. And for your renewed and continuing support, BioSTL, we say thank you.
I'm Ronke Faleti with korédé, and entrepreneurial thinking to me means taking the next best step to create something that didn't exist before in the world, to tell people about it, and to actively work towards making the world better through your idea.
Joining us today is Ronke Faleti. She is the founder and owner of korédé, a designer handbag company that creates modular bags customized to meet the needs of women. We are so glad that you're here today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Talking about something we absolutely love.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And I love what you said about, the Catalyst organization. When women thrive, we all thrive.
Absolutely. And she and I met, Ronke and I met, it was probably about in the spring.
Yeah.
Yes, she did a fabulous presentation with a women's entrepreneur organization here called Prosper. And she was one of the finalists that presented her handbags. And
Did she win?
And did she win?
I came in second place, but I was very proud to come in
She
second
did.
place.
And she had, when she broke out with these handbags, let me tell you, women were like, whoa, let me check this out.
It was a standing ovation.
It
sort
was.
of.
I did hear.
I love it.
Like, that is actually the word on the street. I'm like, people were like, you have to meet this woman. She just got a standing ovation.
Yes.
I was like, who is she? Where is she? Why haven't I met her before?
Right.
And where are her bags? Okay.
We are glad she's here. So she's worked at you've worked in corporate before?
I have, yeah.
Tell us your story, because that beautiful name that you have, I know you're not from St. Louis.
I know. A lot of people say the Faleti name, and I say those are my Italian cousins. It's not Faleti, it's Faleti. So, but I'll tell you what, people get surprised when they see me and they expect an Italian. I was born and bred in Nigeria, which is in West Africa, and I came to the States when I was 11 years old with my family in Texas, and went to school in Texas, matriculated from University of Texas at Arlington, and after that had an amazing opportunity with JPMorgan. I got to travel a lot, probably like 70% travel with my work.
What was the role that you had at JP?
So I came in through one of their leadership programs, and when the program ended, I got the dream job, I thought, and I still think at the time. I was the chief of staff for a operations group in Tampa. And so I moved from,
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I moved from Texas to Tampa, and at the time, I'm trying to think, yes, in college, I was dating my now husband.
You had to think about that.
Lucky man.
For a while.
He came here for law school, and he was like, there are palm trees in St. Louis. I knew better, but...
That's like my husband saying Texas has a dry heat.
No, it's just hot. It's just hot.
Right. It's just hot.
It's just hot. So I moved
palm
to
trees.
I
He
know.
got you here. Right?
That's what he likes to tell people. It's like she left Tampa because I told her they were palm trees. So and I moved to St. Louis. Got a great job with what is now Wells Fargo Advisors. It was Wachovia prior to that, A.G. Edwards, and done multiple roles in client strategy, client acquisition, retention. So really had a great, and within corporate America, I've always been an entrepreneur. So really succeed in creating something that never existed before.
And we always talk about that. We've had
Gotta
people
be
on
entrepreneurial
from
wherever you are,
yeah,
right?
from Monsanto's CIO that talked about what they're doing entrepreneurially, but inside the organization. Absolutely. Yeah. So you got your feet wet in corporate.
I did.
Yes.
You got to stretch your entrepreneurial wings there. What made you actually venture into doing a startup on your own?
That's a great question, because the startup world is a hustle world.
Oh, yes.
It's a hustle world. I think it's the frustration of like knowing that for far too long, women continue to settle, like myself, for products that just don't quite work for them.
Sure. Or we jimmy them so they work.
They work, right.
Right.
And so if you think about, they say need is the mother of invention. And for me, as a working woman, as a working mom who liked to travel, I found that there were limited options in the handbag world that would fit my life.
Because you end up then with like 5 bags. And we're not even talking about the luggage, right? We're just talking about like the laptop bag and the purse.
Yep.
And then, the laptop bag isn't big enough for all the files that you have to bring along to do the work on the laptop, right? I'm getting a little bit of recognition in her eyes.
You just did my pitch. So that's it.
Excellent.
So what I say all the time is, like in any room, if you ask women to raise their hands, how many of them have a bag? And like, even if you don't ask, just watch. And,
We're like Sherpas. I mean, it's like we're going on an expedition. There are days if I bring my lunch bag, my computer bag, and my purse, now add with the cold weather, all the other outer, it's
Absolutely.
It's an expedition.
Absolutely.
And so where I'm going and the journey of korédé. So korédé itself is a Yoruba word. word, and it means bring goodness. And so where I'm going with bringing goodness to women who are triumphantly, like, you know, doing all these things, they're working, they're like building communities, they're fixing the world,
taking care of people,
right.
Little people, big people.
Yeah. And, you know, you think about some of the women who have a sandwich generation. And so you're taking care of their elderly parents. You still have children of your own. You still have a career. And so where we're going with korédé is actually designing this modular bags where the bag is customized to the individual. Think about a click and play system. And so you have a bag that can expand and contrast based on what you need. You need a laptop, you can click it in. You need a makeup bag, you can click it in. You have your lunch bag, you can click it in. And you can just click and go as you're going. And so
wait a minute, slow that boat down.
So she's like, where do I order? And do I have to click them all at once? Or do they all come separately? I can just see her brain working.
My brain
is there one big box with all the clickable parts? Or do I have to know in advance what I need?
I'm traveling today, and I have like a little bag. I've got the backpack with all my other
you got a cute little bag today, and I'm like, there ain't no way that's
because all my
in
crap is in the backpack, right? Because I got to be able to stuff that bag into the backpack so I can take my suitcase on, right?
Absolutely.
I can carry on.
Right, 2 carry-ons. So tell us about how does this system work? I mean, you got a big bag and you can put stuff in it?
Yeah, so where we started with 2 products. So we started with a clutch. That's what got the standing no.
Yes.
And we have 2 IPs on that. So we have a design patent, and that one, we work with Louis Rice, who is a local IP firm. They're really strong in that. And
what was cool about that bag, I think I remember, was for moms who had young babies. Or tell us about that one.
Sure. So the IP where I was going with it is, you know, there's a design for the actual shape. So you will start to recognize korédé anywhere you see it, just by the shape. And then there is, we could call it wipes technology.
That's it.
I'm going to say it that way too. The wipes technology.
I carry wipes and I got a 16-year-old.
I mean,
I carry wipes and I don't have children.
Right. Well, you don't need to. Like, you think they're hygiene wipes now for people who work out and you don't have time to shower. Makeup. Have y'all gone on YouTube or Instagram? I mean, like, I get lost 10 minutes watching this makeup video. I'm like,
your life
never
just
do that.
Right. Exactly. Who has time to do that?
And so we have a unique way where you can direct load and dispense your wipes. You don't have to carry Ziploc bags around, and you can do a facial tissue. And we find that some women just use that little peekaboo pocket for business cards as well.
It's
just easy
I cram
access.
a lot of stuff into a peekaboo. I'm just saying. That sounds endless.
Peekaboo can be endless.
Right.
My husband
You
will
can
be
peekaboo
like,
your business
how much more are you going to put in there?
Absolutely.
Kleenex, you can peekaboo a whole
Whenever
bunch
I
of stuff.
say to my husband, it's just in my purse, he hands the whole thing to me like it's radioactive because he doesn't want to have to wade through all
what
the
are
many
you
pockets.
talking about? So how did you think about this?
Yeah, so, you know, the way when we started and like the iteration of korédé has really been
Who
customer
is we?
feedback.
Because you keep saying we, and most people.
We is me.
I know. That's why I wanted to make sure. Because
You know I use we all the time too.
we always talk about we as women. Right. And it is us. Us'em.
Right. And so from where did I start?
Yeah,
and so I started with just drawing, and I was just frustrated. I was like, there's got to be a better way. There ought to be a better way. And so started with the 2 bags. We got the clutch, we got the tote. The tote has built-in pockets. What I found is that you can really have a big tote, your things get lost.
Right.
You can get a tote insert. It eats up the volume of your
Right,
bag.
right.
And
I'm
so
struggling.
you're still lost. And so
And then you get many totes within your tote, and then
That's
it's just like you're walking around with Tupperware in your purse, right?
And Ziploc bags. I live on Ziploc bags.
I'm just saying, either that or it's 20 minutes freezing outside trying to find my keys.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And so, like, you know, one of the cool things about the bag, and ladies, I have to show you here.
Yes, she's showing it to us, and we're salivating already.
Color. It's a caramel color.
I saw you look, and you were like,
And so on the inside of it, you know, we have like a built-in key clip right on top.
Yes.
So that you can clip your key. This is a removable insulated water bottle holder. There's a big sewn-in pockets. I mean, pockets galore.
Okay, ladies, y'all can't even appreciate this. The
And it's
water
super cute.
bottle, it just snaps
And
in
it is
and snaps
adorable.
out. And it's cute. It's functional. It looks good.
I just came back from
Now,
San
you
Francisco,
still may
and
need a
that's all I took.
chiropractor visit because
I need
as
that
all
today.
women, we carry more than we should.
We carry way more than
So
we
we're
should.
not saying
Right.
it's going to lighten your load, but it's going to make it far more organized
Yeah, you
and
got-
beautifully organized.
I was going to say, you got an extra one? I'm I'm leaving
now
tonight.
Jade's like going through.
got you.
Don't pay any mind to me while I go through your purse now.
I know a person who knows a person.
Oh, my God. That's fabulous. And then you have a purse inside of it?
I do. You know, I think a lot of
cute.
women, you go from day to night, right?
Yes.
Right. So sometimes you just need something for going to an evening event. And you
Yes.
can just pop it in, pop it out. Crossbody if you need it. Tuck in the straps or take it off and have a nice dinner clutch.
So she has this reptile. Okay, y'all
It's
cannot
beautiful.
appreciate this.
Well, maybe
But
Jade will put a few pictures up when
yes,
we post the
it
show.
is a
and that way
beautiful
we'll
clutch with a skinny
strap.
Crossbody strap, right?
that you could probably go from a clutch to putting this on in the evening, and it all fits in the big bag.
It sure does.
I'm sure there's a peekaboo in there too.
Yeah.
there is. And, but you know,
So you started by sketching stuff out.
Yeah, I started by drawing things out, and I had some good initial traction with customer feedback, and people got excited. People were energized, and so my first samples came in, I want to say around this time last year, and started working through the samples. And early spring, the actual production sample came in, and clients gave me feedback. You saw how I clicked in and out the bottle.
Yes.
Clients were like, you know what I would like? I want to be able to click in my toiletry bag when I'm going to the airport.
Yep.
I want to be able to change out my makeup bag or a little wallet with all my big stuff so I don't have to switch bags all over it over and over.
This is what I'm pissed off about.
Okay,
Big
so
bag and a little bag, okay?
Cheryl has an
This is-
adorable little bag today that has a big bag stuffed into it, but she will stuff into a bigger bag when she
Right.
gets to the airport.
That's perfect.
and she's
Right.
pissed.
I am pissed because I'm like, this is, and it's fashionable. The leather looks wonderful.
The
It doesn't
leather
look
is-
like, some.
It's tough green leather. It's really good.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Thank
it's
you.
gorgeous. So you got feedback from other women.
Yeah, feedback from other women. Good traction. I think what's been amazing for me in St. Louis, especially, is the encouragement.
Yes.
This community really wants to see you win.
Yes.
And I have found that women open their network, especially women.
Yes.
Women are not stingy with their network. They're not stingy with their feedback. And I honestly and genuinely feel that people are pushing me ahead. I'm like, keep going. You can do it. And so all of that knowledge over the last few months has really culminated to answer your first question, right? Where did I get into this modular thing to, I came back from Italy and Spain because the tariffs got to me. And so I'm one of those small businesses where the new tariffs with China, my tariffs are going up 455%.
Wow.
And
So this is real impact, people.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Being able to
Real
import
impact.
and export
Right.
is no joke anymore.
Absolutely. And I wanted to talk to people who were transparent. They did sustainability. And so I found two manufacturers, one to help me build, one to help me scale.
Nice.
And so I did a 4-day stint in Italy and in Spain to really design these modular bags that you'll be seeing, in the new year. And so it's a base bag. You have a briefcase, we have a backpack, and we have a satchel.
Oh, I love backpacks.
And so
Oh
it's
my
easy.
gosh.
But, think about all the things that we carry around and all the things we
Oh,
need
yeah.
and being able to interchange it.
So you were smart. You got not only your manufacturer, but you got somebody that can help you scale
right.
the business. So what other resources have you taken advantage of?
Oh, wow.
So I just heard that you came back from somewhere out west.
I did. I did.
Tell us about that.
I would talk about the Midwest, and then I'll talk about the West Coast.
Okay.
And so, from a Midwest perspective, Brazen St. Louis
Yes.
has been a great community to really be a part of. And what I love about it, as a startup, you really don't know what you need to know.
Sure.
And so, what I love the most about being a Brazen member is a curated access. So they've called through all the stuff, and they're like, "Here you go. Here are the things that are probably relevant to you, and I get to pick and choose. And I really enjoy being part of the growth groups. And then on the West Coast side, I got an amazing opportunity to be one of 60 founders to attend Founder University.
Out of how many applications
Out of
was it?
500 applications.
Wow.
And it was in San Francisco. Is led. The name of the company is called Launch.co, led by Jason Calacanis. And what is amazing about that opportunity is, it's like a 2-day intensive, fundraising. Like, I was hearing words and I'm like, I know what that word is on its own, but in this context, I'm not really sure. But it really, when you're building a business, you really have to dream big.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
So it was great to be amongst, 59 other women and also underrepresented minorities who were
underestimated, as Arlen Hamilton. She was.
Yes.
That's it.
She said it's not under.
It's
underestimated.
Like, matter of fact, Morgan DeBond with Blavity, she came to speak. She's from St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of the speakers. And, everybody there is building companies that are going to be valued at, $10 to $100 million and even $1 billion. So to hear the mindset of somebody trying to build $1 billion company who is currently at $10, that junk rubs off.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And we're going to come right back and talk more about how that happens.
Yes.
CET, the Center for Emerging Technologies, is a proud founding sponsor of this entrepreneurially thinking podcast. We want you to know all about the great things they are up to. Square One offers 2 training options. Square One Ignite, a 4-week program created to help founders quick start their business model validation process. Or Square One Bootcamp, an in-depth 10-week, 50-hour program that combines formal instruction with hands-on learning, networking, and mentoring. To learn more about Square One Bootcamp or Square One Ignite, visit CETSTL.com. And for your renewed and continuing support, CET, we say thank you.
Shay Gillespie, Color Coded Kids. Entrepreneurially thinking means being passionate about something, stepping outside of yourself, and going for it.
We were talking about how the mindset, the being around folks who today have $10 but are building $10 million, $100 million companies. We often think about the fact, we often assume that those are going to be tech companies. But you're building a handbag empire.
Right.
Or at least today it's a handbag empire.
Absolutely.
Right. And so what does it mean for you to be in that space, that mindset, as you said, and what that means in terms of potential? Because we're always also looking at women and underestimated founders tend to build companies that are more about what their personal capacity is, what I can do in 24 hours a day or 7 days a week. And there's an aspirational piece to the work as well, in terms of helping folks. Not necessarily that one type of company is better than another, but at least to consider the possibilities. What has that meant for you?
So mindset is big. And I think that reshaping the narrative of what companies scale is important. If you think about the brand Unique. Unique is a makeup brand born online, doing Facebook parties, and within like 5 years, they were at $1 billion in sales.
Wow.
Okay, that's a makeup, right?
That's a makeup, and that's what most venture capitalists would not invest in.
Would not invest in, right?
And not in retail.
Not in, right? And
not in beauty, not in retail, not in women, all sorts of things they don't typically invest in.
And let's not forget that Kate Spade sold for $2.3 billion.
Yes.
And let's not forget that, the Tumi bag company,
I love
prints $500 million every year.
Yes.
And so...
and Kate Spade sold too early, because at the next acquisition, it was like 10 times.
It was 10 times. And Kate Spade original sale, I think, was like 6 years after they started.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think the mindset of what it takes to build a global company, is you have to be brazen and you have to think about the scale of your business. And so is it something that, it's available for 10 people? Is it something that's available for $100 million people? And is it something that's needed? Right. So that's one thing. The second thing I would say is you have to be, you have to go for a big number. I was talking to a lady in my brazen group, growth group, just on Sunday, and I learned something in Founders University. It's called 10 stacks around creating focus and understanding the milestones you need to hit to get to your big goal. And I said, how big is your company going to be? How much are you making? And she said, $100,000. I said, you should just keep your day job.
Right.
So like this is how big you want it to be. Not this year, but like, no, if I can do $100,000, I'm like, keep your day job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a hobby or a lifestyle.
Right.
Not a real business, but not
it's a lifestyle business. Right.
It just falls into a different category.
It falls into a different category. And especially the energy it takes. So for me, one thing that I've recently adopted is this optimism mind frame. Being on the West Coast, you see that failure is part of the journey.
Yes.
Here, I feel like failure is a defining nail. Right. And so where you hear a lot of people, I was talking to this one woman who was a professor, and she had a wonderful salary, making close to $200,000 a year. She quit her day job to start a company in 2015. Company failed. She started another one in 2016. Company failed. She started one in 2017. I was like, and I asked her, I said, how do you deal with the depression?
What's the drug regimen?
And she said something like, I am extremely optimistic. Yeah. And she's on her third company, and she's already like, the year is not over, and she's doing close to 500,000 in sales.
Wow.
And so, it's important to understand
it's learning something. She learned something with each failure.
With each one. Absolutely.
And I don't consider it a failure. I just think, it's a delay.
It's part of the journey.
Exactly. And I think it's just a delayed a route to success. That's all. You know?
Right. And again, on the mindset, one thing that a lot of psychologists or, I don't remember the person who said this, but you're the average of the 6 people you hang with. And so it is important that the mindset of the people around you is that is, growth in nature. Sometimes people quit too soon. And sometimes, there needs to be a reckoning, like, okay, is it working? Is it not?
Right.
Do I pivot? Do I move to something else? And so for me, over the last year, I listened to a lot of podcasts. Ours included.
She told us she actually listens.
I do. And, you guys are really energetic and fun. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm coming on here. I hope I don't disappoint.
You are doing a fabulous job. If I get one of the bags,
I might know somebody who knows somebody.
Shameless. We support all our entrepreneurs to purchase a product.
Yes, Christy.
Bring us gifts. We're happy. No.
You're awful.
No,
I love your awfulness.
Totally kidding. Because I think what you're doing is for a lot of people who are scared. They sit by the sidelines and go, I don't know if I want to do this. You just got in it and you said, damn it, I'm moving forward.
I think
I'm creating my path.
So there is a company owned by an African-American woman called Panty Prop. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No.
And so, she was one of the earlier innovators in the period feminine care. She's an African-American woman. She's out of the East Coast, I think. And she had her idea from the time after she had a baby, she would notice that when she coughs and there's a, unfortunate leak, right?
Right. Yep.
She did nothing with it. Nothing with it. Many years later, her daughter was in swim meets, and her daughter was embarrassed and was concerned about what if, I have an accident when I'm going swimming. And so she was like, we've settled for far too long. So years went by, and she created this brand and this company, and this woman is doing $2+ million in like just 2 years. And so that whole just start thing, just because you think it's not just you. who have this problem. And so if it's not just you who have this problem, is there a village? And then is there a support system you can plug in to make it happen? And not everything, you'll have a domain expertise in, but if you can get with people who have that technical know-how, or you can get advisors, I have advisors in the handbag space. I have advisors in the leather space. And so they're able to teach me, okay, this is what you asked them.
Right. Sure.
And so I think you just have to go after it. And
but I think what you said is really key. You're tapping into your potential customer base first to validate it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we might create something that, might only satisfy a small niche or maybe satisfies nobody but you validate it. And then you're moving forward. And then you're getting the advisors, you're growing your company, and you're listening and you've got to learn when to listen and when just to, thanks for the advice, but I'm still moving forward this way.
Absolutely.
So.
Was entrepreneurship always a stepping stone to entrepreneurship for you, or was it something that evolved over time?
So I would say it was entrepreneurship. So I started my first hustle when I was 11 years old. When I was 12 or 13, actually. I bought this hair clips from the beauty supply store. And at school, people were like, where'd you get your hair clips?
Yeah. I
can get you some.
Right.
And I keystoned. I didn't even know what keystoning was, but I just doubled the price. And then, I got Baker's Dozen, which I didn't know what that was. So my price point was low, and me and my mama would go get hair clips on the weekend.
You were a hair clip broker.
I was a hair clip broker. And, and then fast forward in college, I hustled to pay my own way through school. I had scholarship the first 2 years. But, that was the period for that scholarship. And so I sold books door to door.
Wow.
So
You hustle.
I hustled.
It reminds me of Arlen Hamilton's story. If you guys were there when we taped during Vision, she talked about she was a hustler as a kid, third grade, hustling candy. Yeah. She would go and get lots of candy and sell it to her friends. But I think the grit, perseverance, and just being like just like what you're saying, is you found opportunity.
Right. And the one thing I would say that's maybe challenging in the sales piece, especially if it's your business, that I continue to struggle with, when you're in sales, right? If I say, I want to sell you some earrings, and you say, I don't like those earrings. I'm like, that's okay. It ain't mine anyway.
Right.
That's for Neiman Marcus. my name is not Neiman, so my name is not Marcus. That's all right. And so, when you create a product, in sales, you learn to separate the product from yourself. So rejection is not personal.
Right.
And then, but if you're running your own business, if it's a service business, a product business, the rejection is like, that's your baby.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
And so I think it's developing that grit
to
overcome and understand at the end of the day, even these tech companies, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
They buy clients. And so they spend $100,000 in ads to maybe recruit 1,000. They're buying clients.
Right.
And so it's a numbers game. So to understand that, I'm like, okay, not everybody's going to like your handbags. But I hope
goes down to a need. Goes down to a need.
So entrepreneurship has been the end game for you.
Yes.
Are handbags the end game, or is it just one stepping stone into a larger business?
Are you going to be like Kate Spade? You're going to start with handbags and go to...
Because korédé is a very... that idea of bringing goodness can come in many forms.
Absolutely.
So I am
Children's clothes.
I'm so glad you asked that question. So it is a means to an end. So at the end of the day, I want to make a lot of people's lives easier by creating a product that's useful, beautiful, ethical, and priced right. That's one of the things that's important to me. I have to be able to afford it. And so, but to be honest with you, I want to create a platform to bring women together.
Okay.
And so, so that's the long dream is to create a space. I think a lot of us, can't really just pop into, I'm not a, what do you call it? I don't even know the name, the clubs, country club. I'm not a country club kind of gal.
Yeah.
Right. I can't just pop into one anyway.
Right.
But
not many of us can.
but to create a space for women to be able to be empowered, to be able to be replenished, and to be able to feel like, I belong to a women's group. And so to come out of that month after month, I keep telling my husband that I am going to have a unique identifier in my bags. And once I get my platform up, every woman who owns a bag would get an invitation in whatever, city or location you are. Maybe it's a quarterly get together, and
that's kind of cool,
that kind of thing. So that's the long-term vision, to create this platform and space for women to really feel like I am myself, I am who I am, I come to be replenished, and I can go.
Does this fit into the idea of womaning? Because I saw that as part of your...
So I'm coining this word, womaning, and I really see womaning as a woman who is doing the job of many, at times under-celebrated. But
at times, I think that's like the majority of the time.
Given.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So at times, a lot of times under-celebrated, recognized, and doing it fabulously.
I always say, I told my sister, if I die, my husband, first of all, wouldn't know where the hell the insurance papers are. Wouldn't know what the checkbook looks like.
So he would have to practice womaning in addition to adulting. Adulting is just the entry level.
My husband and
womaning
my
is the
son
next level.
Womaning is the next level.
They would be looking at each other going, okay, she needs to come back to life, because we don't know how this stuff works.
Those poor boys.
Think about it. Like, when you're a woman and you have a cold, but you're still working.
Exactly.
And you're running, you ran circles around people okay, I've been up, I went to work out, I put kids on the school bus.
I'm solving other people's problems, and I got a headache.
Creating the handbags, creating lines.
We just do it.
I love that term, womaning.
Womaning.
And then providing that space, I think that's a unique and interesting attachment to your brand, which is very nice. Setting up that brand to have that, and have finding space for women to connect, which is really cool. So, what's on the plan for the next? This is only 1 year, people. She's not been out here for 10 years doing.
And you're
this.
Still doing a day job, right? Because we often tell folks this isn't about quitting your day job. This is about building the infrastructure to build the company that will allow you to leave your day job. But those are steps that aren't necessarily.
Enough people don't talk about it. I think, we see the exits, we see the big companies are oh my goodness, how they get to, Warby Parker, the eyeglass company.
Sure.
They kept their day job for 2 years.
Yes. And that actually cost them some investments.
It did.
But it ultimately let them build a company that was far stronger.
Has value.
And
Absolutely.
And sometimes people, when I talk to entrepreneurs, sometimes it's not like the passion is not there. It's not like the work is not there. It's incredibly difficult, but then you run out of runway in money because rent is due and you have responsibilities. And so I think it's incredibly difficult to have a day job that's demanding, to have a family, and also to build a brand, because that's a baby that needs a lot of energy. So I think it's incredibly difficult. But for me, my path and my truth is that a responsibility is creating enough traction.
Yes.
And seeing that the market is responding in the right way. I hope Korédé, in the form of a bag company, has longevity, right? I believe in the concept of bringing goodness with Korédé, and I hope the bag form really does have a lot of longevity. But in that same breath, I have to be honest and say, I can't sacrifice too much of my livelihood and my children's livelihood, really, until the market responds. And I hope it responds, right?
Yeah.
And so you say, what's next for 2019? I mean, we gonna need all y'all to buy bags.
That's a call to action, all y'all.
Exactly.
One of my favorite words in the English language, right?
Just giving it real.
That's right.
Yeah. So pay it forward by
Yes.
making the purchase. Where can folks find you so
Yes.
they can support you?
Sure. We are online everywhere at Shop Korédé. I will spell that. That's KOREDE. And so www.shopkorédé.com, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Shop Korédé.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Well, we really appreciate you
This
making
has been
time out of
fun.
your day job and your
Yes.
family and your hustle
goodness.
Yes.
to be able to share with us
Thank
where
you.
you are in your journey and let us be a small part of that with you.
I am incredibly grateful to you, and one of the things that you mentioned earlier is about balance, and the reality is that my prescription for balance is go where your energy is, and so where it gives me the most joy is where I go. So we made
the
cut. Yes, see, I'm laughing, I'm happy, right? And so sometimes I am joyful working at 1 a.m. on the business, and sometimes I don't work on it for 4 days because I'm not joyful. Right. And so I think we have to go where our energy lies so that we don't burn out, because burnout is also an antidote. Or not an antidote. What word am I looking for? Kryptonite. Burnout is the kryptonite for success.
Yeah, right. Because you just putting your head down and proceeding forward regardless of what's going on is not really sustainable.
No.
Going where your joy is and following the energy.
Absolutely.
I think those are wonderful notes to end our conversation on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel incredibly blessed to be here.
Oh, we are so
With
happy
you.
that you joined us today.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Cheers.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's Entrepreneurially Thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections, and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #ETHINKSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.